England suck at netball. Interesting title, right? Makes for the clickbait. Anyway, the Vitality Roses have completed their tours of Australia and New Zealand, losing their first series to Australia and winning the second series against New Zealand. Now, by the time you're watching this, England may have either whitewashed New Zealand or New Zealand may have taken the third game. But have Jess Feldby's side gone through a successful period this year? Now, England were expected to compete against these top sides, which they did. Have they risen to expectations or fallen short? If Feldby's side are to be considered a top side, they've got to be beating like New Zealand, Australia all the time. I'm not just talking about maybe once or twice every every other year. Like, what is it going to take for England to knock Australia off their perch? Now, I know England defeated Australia in the second game of the Australia series, but that was their first win against Australia since the 2018 Commonwealth final. Like, what's it going to take for England to knock them off their perch? So you tell me. Like, I recall during the 2023 Quad Series, ex-England international Tamsin Greenway said, "At some points, we've got to stop saying learnings and start winning. That couldn't be any more blunt, really." And from the outside looking in, whenever England do lose, it's like, oh, we'll learn from this. Well, of course you will. But what's the use of empty words after yet another loss to Australia? Now, there must be changes to ensure the Roses are successful. Like, one Commonwealth gold in nearly 10 years isn't good enough. They should be doing better. Now, this brings me on to a documentary I watched about the England cricket team a few years ago. I think it was a couple of years ago, 2022 or something like that, I can't remember. But anyway, they defeated Australia at the 2019 World Cup semi-finals. And the players were celebrating like proper, like celebrating the semi-final win. Like, Trevor Bailey's had to come and be like, "What are you celebrating? Nothing had been won up to that point." And this needs to be the attitude with the netball team. Like, rather than going off celebrating a win against Australia, you need to be like, okay, who's next? That needs to be attitude. This is big England we're talking about. Like, these are the kind of attitude England need to have if they're to truly cement themselves as a top side. Steering away from England criticism, though, I've noticed games were staged in midweek. Now, this is hardly a way for netball to grow. Like, staging games at 7:35 UK time on a Wednesday or Thursday, that doesn't help to grow the sport, and it's quite frankly a bizarre time to stage such a game. Like, in future, games should be staged on weekends only to help boost audiences. Like, why stage a game at a time when UK audiences are leaving for school and work? That doesn't make much sense. But hey, it is what it is at the moment, but something's got to be done. Like, what do you think? Like, how can netball as a product grow? Like, what needs to be done to ensure more faces, more eyes are watching netball? Like, we know netball can grow, but how big can it grow? So yeah, that.